welcome everyone. Hope you guys are doing well today. Nimby, hello, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Ready for romancing some more fictional vid. Could finally continue with Mihaya's route. I'm so excited. We did learn a bit more about Mihaya's character last time. I think it was, what, 2-3 weeks ago since I last played his route. But we now have like a goal with his character. We want him to fall in love with us so he has a reason to live after he finishes his parents' research. I don't know how this is going to work out. Let me check. Where am I in the game? Because they give you a flow chart on where everything is. So we're at 3-2. Oh, there's a part where it might branch off. So I might not get it, but we'll see. So looks like complete 9%. We're at 1. It's always the top. That's the other one. I'm not too sure how this works. It looks like we're close to the end of his route, is what it looks like here. So we'll figure out how this all works out. So I'm assuming these are the different endings. That's another branch ending. And this one is too. Because I definitely had a lot of them, especially in the common route. So I do want to attempt to 100% this game. It's gonna be a while, but it seems like the routes are pretty short. So I probably can get a good chunk of his done today. Let me see if I can somehow not get to this. Because my first playthrough, I do not want to use a walkthrough. I just want it to be all my choices and kind of see how it works out. And then after, we'll do walkthroughs and try and get all the other endings for his route. So we're actually kind of close to an ending. So I might attempt just to play on through depending on how long it'll take. Doesn't look like it will be too bad. We're just gonna go ahead and get started and we'll see what else we have for Mihaya's route. Not sure how this is gonna end. We just need this man to love us and not off himself after he finishes his parents' research. He has a lot of trauma, this boy, but I love fictional men with trauma anyway. I couldn't stop thinking about Mihaya, even after we parted ways. I guess it makes sense, since I'd been with him from when school ended until now, including when he was Mocha. The more time I spent with Mihaya, the more I realized how similar we were. We both experienced someone we loved dying before our eyes, and we both felt tremendous guilt over it. We'll have to face our issues head-on if we want to work through our trauma. I can imagine how Mihaya feels right now. I mean, if someone told me that killing lots of vectors will make up for what I did to Lise, I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. I had to take Lise's life to save her, so it makes some sense to view the vectors in the same way. A person might say that saving vectors like that would help rid me of my guilt. But even so, I couldn't imagine myself purposely going out to kill them. I can face them if lives are at stake, but I don't think I'll ever be able to fight like I used to. And because of that, I don't have any room to tell Mihaya what to do. I can't even overcome my own trauma, so there's no way I can force Mihaya to do it. Of course, he'd be reluctant to use his ability, since it was directly connected to his parents' death. But now, those same powers were looking like a solution to his present issues. He was pulled between the desire to overcome his trauma and his hatred for the method that would help them. And I can't just tell him to do it or not to do it. In the end, I realized this was something Mihaya had to decide for himself. Just as I come to the conclusion that fighting vectors wouldn't help me with my own trauma, Mihaya had to decide what was best for him. Then what can I do is help Mihaya draw his own conclusions. The next day, the commander called us together again and informed us that the higher-ups wanted to increase the number. We already increased these damn patrols. Can we stop? I'm tired. They were displeased the vectors had shown up yesterday in order that we start patrolling as a group immediately. There's only so many of us and what we can do, so like, are they gonna help us out?
このところ任務続きじゃありませんの。だいたい外周が出るのって
As expected, everyone began voicing their frustrations when we heard the order.
文句言っても仕方ないね。決定事項みたいだし。せやな。けど、ちょっとくらいはいいとなるやん。あんたやってそう思うやろ?
Huh? Me? Well, I do agree it will be tough for all of us to patrol every day. But I guess it's the same for the commander and Rio too.
司令たちは任務で戦ってるわけやないや。もう、あんたはのんきやな。
Mocha's tone was a mixture of shocked and worried, but I didn't feel put out by the extra patrolling. This actually works out perfectly. Though we all be patrolling together, we decided to keep our pairs the same, which meant I'd be with Rio again. Last night, I contemplated what I could do before going to bed. I resolved to try and gather as much information about the outside as I could. That's why the patrol wasn't an issue for me. I used it as an opportunity to talk with Rio again, since I rarely ever got to. But the thing is, would Rio actually tell us information about the outside? Let's get a move on, Rio.
突然どうした?
My sudden burst of motivation caught Rio, not to mention everyone else, by surprise. Oh, it's just, we've been patrolling every day, yet the Vector still found a way in. It's embarrassing. So I'm hoping we can find evidence of where they're coming in from.
なるほど。
What I said was partially true, and Rio seemed convinced enough. No one else seemed to suspect anything either, so I started to leave before anyone pressed the matter further. We're heading out. Good luck, everyone!
張り切るのはいいけど、無茶せんといてや。
Worried about me? Mocha?
方がいいんちゃう? 端末は
Got it right here. Thanks, Mocha. I thanked her, then hightailed out of the room with Rio. So how's interrogating him for answers about the outside gonna work? Would he voluntarily tell us this information, or we say that's classified, or something you don't need to worry your head about? Rio asked me that with a sigh when we arrived at the starting point. Well, I wanted to talk to you. You said before that it wouldn't do any good to know what's about outside Theta. But from the way you said it, I got the impression that you do know about it. His tone turned standoffish, but I remained undeterred. Do you know how many vectors are outside Theta? Are they right outside the wall? Or will we not come out across them unless we go further out? If you know about stuff like that, I really appreciate it if you tell me. I mean, if I'm fighting these things and protecting the inside of Theta, I should know something, right? It seemed like he wasn't going to immediately try and end the conversation, but I wasn't sure what to say next. I'm doing this on my own accord, so I can't mention Mocha. What should I say? I can't tell you why, but I want to fight the Vectors. I want to do it separately from the Bloom's missions, if I can, and I want to stay as close to Theta as possible. I racked my brain and came up with an answer that, quite frankly, seemed implausible, but it managed to pique Rio's interest.
おかしな話だな。お前はこの間まで害獣と戦うことを拒んでいたように思うんだが、もしかしてモカに関係があるのか?
What? No! He figured it out so quickly. I felt myself break out into a cold sweat. Oh, what would make you think that?
どうしてと言われてもな。この間のパトロールの時にモカと一緒にいたのは明らかに不自然だった。それに質問の内容がこの間と同じシータの外に関係することだ。 これで無関係だと思う方がどうかしてる。
His logic was incredibly sound, and I had to concede I hadn't been best at hiding it. I admit this has to do with Mocha. But she doesn't know I'm asking you these questions. I'm doing this on my own. So, can I ask you not to tell her about this? I'll talk to her when the time is right.
まあ、構わないさ。
Ah,
それで、さっきの話だが、なかなか無茶な要望だな。
why not? Please, something, a little crumb. I know, but if my plan seems possible to you in any way, please tell me. I pleaded with him, and eventually, a smile spread over his face.
いいサンプルにはなるか。面白そうだから話を聞いてやるよ。
Rio practically never smiled. An uneasy feeling crept over me. Mihaya said he can't be trusted, but maybe he wasn't trustworthy. But I figured I'd take anyone's assistance if they could help Mihaya. Okay, we're getting somewhere. He has an ulterior motive, but it's fine. I should be safe? Question mark. A few days after my discussion with Rio, our daily patrols continued, so Mihaya and I had been unable to meet after school. We were finally given a break yesterday, which meant that Mihaya and I might be able to get together today. Lunchtime at last. I wonder if Mihaya would join me again if I invited him. I made extra for lunch, but he might want to think things over by himself. I remember how worried he'd been and thought it was entirely possible he wanted to be alone. I just decided to find some place where I could eat in peace when I heard my classmates growing louder.
ねえ、あれって
Who?
どうしてうちのクラスに来たの？
What's going on? Huh? Mihaya? You came to see me? Mihaya was peering into the classroom, so I hurried over to him. What's the matter?
新しい発見があったんです。だから先輩の意見を聞き
What'd
た
you
くて。
get? Have a blessed day, you too.
最近は2人で会えなかったでしょ。だから夜になったら1人でいろいろ整理してたんですけど。
Mihaya looked like he was going to keep talking, but I could feel my classmates watching us, so I quickly interrupted him. This sounds important. Let's go somewhere where we can talk quietly. Did you already eat lunch?
あ、いえ、まだです。
We can eat together. Then let's discuss it over lunch. I brought my own again. Would you like some?
もしかしてまた食べきれないくらい作ったんですか？
He might have been genuinely concerned, but his tone was skeptical. I felt myself getting annoyed. No, I didn't make that much this time. I just thought that maybe you and I could eat lunch together. That's all.
そんなに必死に言わなくても冗談ですよ。
Seriously? I turned bright red when I realized he was teasing me. Mihaya looked a little awkward as he continued.
まあ冗談のつもりだったんですけど、本当に少し多めに作ってきたんですね。
Yeah, I did.
だったらありがたくいただきます。俺も一応パンを持ってきてるので取ってきますよ。
How about we talk in that empty classroom?
わかりました。すぐに行きます。
I watched as Mihaya strode away and realized my cheeks were still burning. Though I was embarrassed from being teased, seeing Mihaya smile for the first time in a while had stirred something in my heart. We met in the same empty classroom as before and began eating our lunch.
またたくさん作ってきたんですね。本当に食べてもいいんですか？
Of course. Mihaya ate the bread bun he brought and partook of my lunch as well. Don't force yourself if you're full. I can finish whatever you don't. I didn't want him to feel like he had to eat it. Mihaya turned to me, a serious look on his face.
俺、こういうところで嘘をつけないんですけど、 食べたくなかったら食べたくないって正直に言いますよ。美味しくなければそう言うと思うし。つまり俺が言いたいのは、
Hmm?
先輩の料理は美味しいってことです。だから食べたいです。
Compliment? Thank you, Mihaya. Oh my god, I'm gonna cook you dinner every single night. What he said reminded me of when I gave him the cookies.
友達がよく作ってくれた自慢のクッキーなんでしょ。だったら自信を持っていいんじゃないですか。だいたいまずかったらこんなに食べてないですよ。
That's right. Mihaya's honest to a fault. And unlike before, he directly told me the food was good. I felt a surge of happiness. Thanks. Then let's eat together again sometime.
作りすぎたって言うなら食べてあげますよ。もったいないですし。
Oh, he's too cute. It didn't seem like he was being fully honest there, but I could tell he liked eating together. I wish these peaceful days could go on forever. But we faced a mountain of problems. The environment around us, not to mention our past, was enough to shatter any calm we had. After we finished lunch, Mihaya started up the conversation again.
さっき話そうとしたことですけど、
Okay.
昨日寮に帰った後、両親の遺品を整理してみたんです。思い出したくないから遠ざけて、今まではできるだけ見ないようにしてたんですけどね。でも先輩が両親の本から手がかりを見つけてくれたから、やっぱりきちんと見ておくべきだと思ったんです。見て正解でしたよ。
Did you find another clue?
はい。俺はずっと両親が追ってた環境問題を中心に調べてましたけど、鍵は外部コロニーにありそうだったでしょ。だから視点を変えて外部コロニーに関係するようなものがないか探してみたんです。そうしたらこれを見つけました。
It looks like the map at the beginning of your parents' book.
そうなんです。でも両親の本を全部見てもこれと全く同じ地図はなかったんですよ。それに出版年代が一番新しい本の地図とこの地図を見比べてみてください。
Mihaya drew out the book we looked at the other day. As he directed, I turned my attention to the map on the first page. They look nearly identical.
でも新しく見つけた地図はここに赤い点があるんです。
Oh, you're right. Mihaya pointed to one of the dots that we speculated signified the locations of other colonies. But look, they've written something next to it. It's pretty faded.
多分クエスチョンマークだと思います。これから調べようとしてたんじゃないのかな。
So that means...
多分ここが両親が最後に行こうとしていた外部コロニーなんだと思います。
Mihaya, this is a major discovery. That's amazing. Now we know exactly where they were going.
正確かどうかは実際に行ってみないとわからないですけど
Are
ね。
we ever actually going to get to that colony in his story? I have a bit
わからないからこ
doubt.
そこの地図にもクエスチョンマークって書き込まれているんだろうし。
Mihaya paused with hesitation, so I chose my next words carefully. Have you decided whether you use sap or not?
それは
Mihaya grew quiet and closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them again, he looked directly at me. I could see the sadness reflected in his eyes.
俺この地図を見つけた後思い出してたんです。あの日のこと、父さんと母さんと一緒に出かけた最初で最後の取材のこと。あの日俺と両親は3人とも少し浮かれてたのかもしれません。
ミハヤちゃんとついてきてるか？
Papa Mihaya.
ちょっと待ってよ。ミハヤより私の方が困ってるんですけど。ねえ、私のカメラ見なかった？
お前な、カメラジャーナリストの命やで。なんで家出るときに確認せんのや。
そんなにうるさく言われなくても分かってるわよ。ん？あ、ありがとう。ミハヤが待っててくれたんだね。
おーおー、
Oh.
お前よりミハヤの方がよっぽどジャーナリストみたいやな。
Don't give them nice and loving parents just to take them away.
否定できないわね。それにミハヤ、あんたもカメラよく似合ってるよ。
俺はこの日のために両親にねだってカメラを買ってもらって、それを首から下げてました。父さんが言う通り、ジャーナリストの仲間入りをしたみたいで張り切ってたんです。初めて見るシータの外の景色が楽しみだったし、何より父さんと母さんと一緒に出かけられるのが嬉しかった。尊敬してる二人の仕事ぶりを間近で見られて、一緒に取材ができるなんて。でも俺はあまり口数の多い子供じゃなかったから、そんな気持ちは伝わってないと思ってた。カメラを買うように父さんに勧めてくれたのは、最初は一緒に行くことを反対していた母さんだったし、父さんは何も言わなくても大きな手で俺の頭を撫でてくれた。
ほな、行こうか。
しっかりついてきなさい。
二人の顔をちゃんと見たのはこ
Mm.
の時が最後でした。
Actually, look outside.
初めて見るシータの外には荒涼とした風景が広がってました。シータの周りは先輩も見たと思いますけど、しばらく歩いてもあの風景が続いてたんです。普通の人間なら生身で出たら5分と生きていられない世界。外に出た瞬間こそ恐怖を感じましたけど、防護服に守られてるのと両親がいる安心感でそれも薄れていきました。見渡す限り荒れ果てた大地と建物しかない風景は、シータから離れれば離れるほど荒廃していって、防護服のせいで外界の音もよく聞こえないからとても静かでした。まるでこの世界には俺たち3人だけしかいないんじゃないかって錯覚に陥りそうになるくらいに。それからどれくらい歩いたか、シータの影も見えないほど遠くまで来た時に異変が起こったんです。まず俺の前を歩いてた母さんが膝をついて苦しそうに体を折り曲げました。それとほぼ同時に俺も息苦しさを感じて立っていられなくなったんです。
So I believe he said last time it was like a malfunction in the suits. So I'm assuming kind of something like an astronaut suit with like the helmet so you have fresh oxygen. Because I believe the air outside of Theta is kind of like toxic. So I'm wondering, how did the suit malfunction? In order for it to do that, I'm assuming there might have been some kind of tear, something wrong with like the breathing, so like the air outside came in. But there's also the question of, if the outside air somehow got into their suit, how long does it take before they actually start feeling the symptoms?
俺と母さんの異変に父さんはすぐに気がつきました。俺たちのところへ駆け寄ってくると、
Oh,
携帯
that's
端
good
末
to
で
have
誰
that.
かに連絡を取って、でも俺たちがいた場所はシータからは遠すぎた。苦しそうにしてた母さんが動かなくなるのが目の端に見えて、
Oh shit.
俺もだんだん頭がぼーっとしてきて。
Do not tell me he actually saw his mother breathe her last breath.
朦朧とする意識の中で 父さんが俺に触れたことに気がつきました。ぼんやりと見えた父さんは自分の防護服の頭を覆う部分を外していて、同じように
It's the helmets,
防
okay.
護服の頭の部分を脱がせると自分のものと。父さんがしようとしていることに気がついたとき、俺は必死に抵抗したつもりでした。やめてくれ、そんなことしたら父さんが死んじゃうじゃないかって。でも体は動いてくれなかった。ただされるがままになるしかなくて、涙だけが溢れて止まりませんでした。やがて俺の目の前で父さんも倒れて動かなくなりました。三人きりのようだと思っていた世界が一人ぼっちの世界に変わっていくことを、俺は黙って受け入れることしかできなかったんです。心の中ではずっと祈り続けていました。こんな寂しいところに一人で残されるのは嫌だ。俺も一緒に連れてってくれって繰り返し祈ってました。その願いが結局叶わなかったのは先輩も知っての通りです。気がついたら俺は研究エリアにいました。周りには
Ew.
たくさんの研究者がいて、みんな嬉しそうな顔をしてましたね。
Bro, yeah. As always, these researchers are really shady. Why do they somehow sabotage his parents' stuff? But it was only the mother and Mihaya's suit that was malfunctioning, and the dad switched it over so his son can have his helmet. So I feel like them sabotaging might be low, because if they would sabotage the parents to get to Mihaya, they would also sabotage the dads. I don't think they would think that far ahead and sabotage Mihaya and think the dad will switch the helmets. But either way, they see an opportunity before them, and I do not like it.
俺が無事だったからじゃなくて、シータの外気に触れて危険な状態だった人間が回復したことを喜んでたんです。研究の成果が出たと言って目覚めたばかりの俺に
Their
矢継ぎ
research.
早に質問してきました。
Now that's suspicious. What do you mean their research? How would...
次第に俺が超能力に目覚めたことがわかると、さらに騒ぎが大きくなったんです。
Not a fan.
でもその騒ぎは俺の感情とは真逆で、俺の中には嫌悪だけが募っていきました。そのうち研究者の一人が両親が亡くなったことを俺に伝えてくれましたけど、その言葉には少しの同情も感じられなかった。ただ事務的に事実が告げられただけで、そこにいる全員が俺の苦しみにはまるで目を向けていなかったんです。俺はただ一人になってしまったことが悲しくて寂しくて辛くてたまらなかったのに、この場にいる人たちには俺のそんな感情よりも研究の成果や能力者の出現の方が大事だったんです。悲しみと嫌悪の感情でぐちゃぐちゃになりながら、俺は最後に見た父さんの顔を思い出してました。
Oh, don't do that.
あの時父さんは俺に笑いかけてくれた。笑ってそれから言ったんです。防護服で声は聞こえづらいはずなのに、あの言葉だけははっきり聞こえた。生きろって。
Mihaya, that should be reason enough for you wanting to live, please.
父さんは確かにそう言ったんです。騒がしい研究者たちの中で父さんの最後の笑顔と言葉を何度も思い出したけど、 その時の俺は一人きりで生きていくなんて無理だ、一人は辛いとしか考えられませんでした。でも父さんの最後の言葉を無視することもできそうになくて、だから生きる意味として父さんたちが何をしたかったのか調べることに決めたんです。皮肉なことに超能力者になったことで生活については保証されることになりました。昼間は普通の学生として勉強に励みながら父さんたちが残した仕事を調べて、夜は超能力の訓練をする日々の中で自分のトラウマにも気がつかされました。
At least he's acknowledging that he has trauma. That's a good step.
それでも生きる意味を失うわけにはいかなかったからここまで頑張ってきたけど、この後に及んでまたわからなくなってしまったんです。こんな生き方をしてる俺を見て父さんたちはどう思ってるんだろう。自分の望まない力を使って望まない任務に参加して戦うことを強要されて、今度は自分の願いを叶えるために望まない力を使おうと考えてる。こんなことをするために父さんは俺に生きろって言ったのかな。
Probably not, but as long as you're alive, I think you'd be happy.
自分が望まない力を使ってまで父さんたちの後をたどろうとしてる俺を見て二人は褒めてくれるのかな。そんな風に考えてしまったらもうどうしたらいいのかわからなくなってしまったんです。
Thanks, Saya. That's a lot of info you just gave me about your backstory. And Jesus Christ, yeah, you went through a lot of trauma. Saw both of your parents die, one sacrifice himself so you can live on, and then all these creepy scientists just smiling down at you, not happy because you're alive, but happy because you were able to somehow survive the toxic gas outside. Interesting. All right, sir. A lot of trauma. I don't think I can heal you, but I can probably make you a bit better? Question mark. Mihaya looked at me quietly after he said that.
どうして泣いてるんですか？
Only when he said that did I realize tears were streaming down my face. I tried to make them stop, but the waves of emotion I felt made my efforts futile. Mihaya seemed to be at loss.
俺はもう泣いたりしないのに。なのになんで代わりに先輩が泣くんですか？
Because you're kind. Oh, is this what important? Oh no, hold on. We save because this one feels important. Yeah. We're at 4-1. Where is that in the flowchart? I'm sorry guys, but like giving me a flowchart, it's diabolical. Oh, I didn't get to it. Nice. I can keep on going. We're good. Oh, wrong way. Because you're kind. Because I'm sad. Shit. What sounds better to this fan after he trauma dumped on me? Because you're a kind person? Is what he's doing considered kind? Still looking after his parents' research and stuff? It seems kind of like a given that he would do something like that because he really cared about his family. I guess that could be considered kind. But then because I'm sad, are we sad for his whole situation? Like everything that happened with him? What? Negative emotion doesn't sound good, but because you're kind, because I'm sad. Hold on. I actually really gotta think about this one. Okay. Mihaya. if because you're kind, he told us everything about his backstory. With that, we learned about his trauma with his parents. He saw his mother died. His father sacrificed himself so that Mihaya could live on. Mihaya had all the scientists surrounding him. Creepy ass guys. He's kind of forced to be a magical girl now, but he still wants to help out people, question mark. At least he wants to help with his parents' research and figure out what they're trying to do. It's something he feels like he has to do, like their last wish for him, even though they didn't really wish that. The father said live, and that's what he's doing. But at this point, he's not sure if he's truly living the way his parents wanted. Because I'm sad. He does have a sad ass backstory. Bro really just watched both of his parents die, and he's not being manipulated by the scientist people. They are. What's the worst? It's not manipulated. It's the right word I'm thinking about. They're controlling him. I guess that's a better word. They're controlling him. But the sad thing seems kind of. I don't know. Because I'm sad. Because you're kind. I hate choices like these. Okay, I'm gonna go with because you're kind, question mark. It might seem better. The sad part, I don't know. Oh, thank God. First is right? Oh, thank God I got it right. Bro, choices like that where the nuance of the situation kills me. Like, bro, I don't want to get a bad ending. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, but goddamn. Okay. I'm crying because you're kind, Mihaya. You still love your parents, even now. Even though you said you wanted to go with them, you still want them to approve of how you're living now. I caught a glimpse of Mihaya's real desires. His sadness and suffering, even his wish to be with them, all come from the heart. But his true intentions lay beneath all of that. I felt that his real self was in front of me right now.
何ですかそれ。
I mean, you
その言い方
are.
だと俺がすごく子供みたいじゃないですか。
Though he sounded displeased, Mihaya gently brushed the tears from my face. But you are a child, your parents' child.
そうなんですけどね。
Excuse you.
最近気がつきましたけど、先輩は割と天然ですよね。
Mihaya sighed, as if he released some tension, so I quickly continued. I didn't mean that you're childish. What I meant was, the people you've lost will always be in your heart. It's as if they're frozen in time. Since you were with them at the end, it'll feel even more like that for you. You want them to always be there for you. You want them to see that you're living your life the way they wanted you to. You can't help but wish for that. Thinking through that made me realize something. I'm exactly the same way. It's how I feel about Lise. Mihaya noticed as well.
先輩も願ってるんだね。
Yeah, I do. I feel that way about Lise. I know I have no right to think that way because I killed her. But I can't help but wish, because I love Lise. I know she cared deeply for me. That's why I have to live a life she'd be proud of. She might be watching over me, so I have to live in a way that would make her smile. As I spoke to Mihaya, I felt a ray of light break through the smoldering darkness in my heart.
そんな風に言われちゃったら、俺も認めるしかないですね。
Mihaya looked as if he made up his mind about something.
自分が生きる意味として、父さんたちが残したものを闇雲に追ってきたけど、本当は先輩が言うように、ただ父さんたちに褒めてもらいたかっただけなのかもしれない。父さんたちが残したものを俺が完結させて、よくやったって言ってもらいたかったんだ。
Seeing how calm Mihaya looked in this moment made me think of something. Hey, Mihaya, I know I asked if you decided whether to use SAP or not, but you don't need to worry about that right now. I think I was able to face my feelings about Lise after talking with you. So I want time to think about things too, about what I want to do from now on, and what my future might look like. Mihaya seemed to understand what I was suggesting.
わかりました。それなら俺ももう少しじっくり考えます。父さんと母さんのこともあの時のことばかりじゃなくて楽しかった時のことを思い出してみたいんです。それから未来の自分のことも本当にシータの外に行くのか、そのためにギフトアビリティを使うのか、じっくり考えてみますよ。
We agreed to meet at the same place 1 week later for lunch. Just as Mihaya said, I should try to remember all the good times with Lise. Oh, thank God. Okay. We didn't meet or contact each other for the rest of the week. We both understood that we needed time for ourselves. Alright, got a time to recollect ourselves before we meet up again. I'm happy. We got a breakthrough with Mihaya, thankfully. So I'm feeling good about this route so far. Hopefully nothing bad happens, knock on wood. During that time, we had our Bloom's mission as well. But I was still thinking about what I should do about the vectors. Ever since becoming a part of the Blooms, I just let people decide things for me. Really? No, actually. I think I've always been like that. It's high time I take control of my life. What are we doing? What does that mean for us? After the week passed, Mihaya and I reunited in that empty classroom. Just like before, once we finished the lunch I'd made, Mihaya kicked off the conversation.
俺から話をしてもいいですか?
Not at all. Go ahead, buddy. I knew this would be an important conversation, so I straightened up and gave Mihaya my full attention.
ギフトアビリティを使うかどうかの前に両親の後を追うって言ってたことについてなんですけど、あれはもうやめようと思ってます。
Alright, that's fine. That's your choice.
なんだか先輩と話してたら後を追うとか言ってる自分がかっこ悪く思えてきました。あとこの間みたいに父さんと母さんのことを誰かに話したのは初めてだったから、話してみたら案外すっきりした気がするんですよ。相手が先輩だったからかもしれないですけど。
My heart warmed when I heard Mihaya's words. It was the same for me. I never talked to anyone about Lise before. It made me feel better too. I'm glad you're the one I talked to, Mihaya. It made me want to think about the future. I could say with certainty that speaking with Mihaya back then made me feel like I could look forward again.
未来のことといえば、1週間前に言ったように父さんと母さんとの楽しかった時のことを思い出してみたんです。そうしたらあの頃の夢も思い出しました。俺2人みたいなジャーナリストになりたかったんだよなって。
You mentioned how excited you were when they bought you your camera. I recall what he said during our previous conversation, and Mihaya nodded at me, suddenly seeming shy.
俺なれると思いますか?
Yeah, I think you have the passion.
父さんたちみたいに。
I'm sure of it. You have plenty of time ahead of you, Mihaya. You can use it to work towards your dream.
たくさんの時間がある。
Yeah, I give you a reason to live, sir. Mihaya pondered those words before looking up. His eyes held no trace of hesitation.
正直、将来のことはまだわかりません。俺たちは
Ooh, we saw the Bloom stuff, right?
自由に職業を選べるのかもわからないから。
So how long is this bloom stuff gonna be? Like until we graduate? After we graduate?
でも将来やりたい仕事にジャーナリストっていう選択肢があるのは間違いないです。だから俺シータの外を目指します。それもちゃんと両親の通った道をたどっていきたい。そのためにギフトアビリティが必要なら使います。自分で望んでいた能力じゃないけど、でももうこれも俺の一部だ。だったら否定ばかりしてないで、この能力のことも認めて生きていきます。自分の目的のために利用してやるくらいの強い気持ちを持たなきゃダメですよね。
Mihaya flashed a courageous smile, giving off a sense of reliability.
俺が1週間かけて出した結論は今言った通りですけど、先輩は何か答えが出ましたか？俺にたくさん時間があるって言ってくれましたけど、それは先輩も同じでしょ？これからどうしていきたいんですか？
I took a moment to gather my thoughts. I don't want anyone else to end up like Lise. But I just don't believe that indiscriminately taking down vectors is the right solution. I still don't know what would be right, but I want to find a different way than just fighting as a part of the blooms.
すごく先輩らしいですね。でも俺たち二人とも道のりは険しい気がする。
Mihaya smiled despite what he said, and I couldn't help but return one of my own. That may be true, but how about we just start with what we can do right now?
やれることってもしかして一緒にシータの外に行くなんて言わないですよね。
What, I can't go with you? I'm reliable. That was my intention. Do you not want me to? I thought about it the entire week. I don't think I can allow you to go out there by yourself. Please, let me help you. Wherever this leads, I've already sought some outside help.
話を聞いたって
We're talking about Rio. Oh no.
嫌な予感がするんですけど。
It was Rio. I thought we need help getting out of Theta. Mihaya's face clearly told me he didn't like my answer.
信用できないって言いましたよね。
I get what you mean, but she also says you were going to take advantage of your power, even though you don't like it. You don't have to like Rio or trust him, but let's take advantage of all of our resources. I want to help you, Mihaya, and I decide to do anything I can to do that. My voice came out with such determination that Mihaya jerked back slightly in surprise.
その気持ちは嬉しいんですけど、どうして俺に対してそこまで言ってくれるんですか？
I wasn't quite sure how to answer that question. I thought it over for a bit and then explained what Uncle Yashima told me. When Lise passed away, my guardian, Uncle Yashima, gave me some advice. He told me I shouldn't suffer alone, and that I should find someone I could connect with. Someone who mirrored my heart.
それが俺？
Yeah. At first, I thought you really had it together, despite being younger, which intrigued me. But as we continued to talk, I found out you lost loved ones and that you were dealing with trauma from that. It felt we were similar in that regard. I wanted to get closer to you, and that strangely made me look at myself. It was really painful, but I think it also saved me. It's the same. Even now, I was focusing on what you said, but it also eased some of my burden. Maybe when we talked, I was just doing it for myself instead of you. Maybe I'm just a very selfish person. Though it didn't mean to sound so self-depreciating, Mihaya gave me a serious look.
そんなことあるわけないよ。たとえ先輩が自分のために動いたんだとしても、俺はすごく嬉しかったんだ。 俺のそばにいてくれて、俺に協力してくれて、自分の本当の気持ちに気がつかせてくれた。俺は先輩がいてくれてよかったって思ってる。だからそんな風に言わないでください。
I felt how emotional Mihaya's words were, and find myself nodding at him. Yeah, thank you. But I still think that he was the one who saved me. See? He just lifted an enormous weight off my shoulders again. Mihaya's words filled me with happiness, and I thanked him with a smile. But then he suddenly averted his gaze.
なんか俺恥ずかしいこと言った気がします。先輩と話してるとつい本音を言い過ぎるっていうか、こっちも素直になるっていうか。とりあえず話を戻しますね。富塚さんと何を話したのか教えてもらえますか？
Ooh. Hold on, y'all. I pressed the... Oops, I hit my little switch thingy. Oh, dear Lord. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Up. No, it is the power button to my Switch. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I think I know what it is. Dear God. Ruining a perfectly good moment. Hold on. I have to plug back my Switch. Give me 1 second, y'all. My bad. Oh, no, man. I think we got it. Oh, and turn on my controller. Dear God. Ruined a perfectly good moment, but oh well. We continue. Ah, right. Okay. So if you're going to use SAP, you need to find vectors first, right? But we can't do that in the middle of a mission.
それはそうですね。俺もギフトアビリティの方法が一番のネックだとは思ってたんですけど、まさか。
Yeah. So I asked for Yo if he could tell us when some vectors show up outside of a mission. Specifically, before they enter Theta, and if possible, when they're right outside.
シータのそばに害獣が来たことが分かったとして、そこからどうするんですか？俺はゲートを通る前にギフトアビリティする必要があるんですけど。
Right. So when the vectors are close by, I'll head out and chase them into the colony. If I mess this up, I'll be bringing the vectors right into Theta, which might put innocent people in danger. I have to execute this plan with extreme care. You'll stay closest to the outer wall as possible, and be ready to use SAP at any moment.
そんな危険なことさせられるわけないでしょ。第一、どうやって外に出るんですか？それも富塚さんに協力させるとか？
I already asked him. My immediate answer took Mihaya by surprise.
富塚さんにはなんて言われたんです？
Well, he laughed at me at first. And then he figured out this was something to do with Mocha. He told me that we had to ask him together if we were serious about it. At this point, I realized I told Rio much more than I should have. I hung my head in shame.
そんなにしょんぼりしないでくださいよ。言ったでしょ。俺は先輩がいてくれてよかったって思ってるって。だいたいさっきは利用しようってあんなに強気だったのに、今更ですよ。
I guess you're right.
こうなったらあの人にはとことん協力してもらいましょう。話を聞きに来いってことは協力する気はあるんだろうし。
True, but look at the time. I glanced at the clock and saw we only had 5 minutes left for lunch.
じゃあ放課後に待ち合わせて一緒に富塚さんに会いに行きましょうか。
Sounds good. We quickly cleaned up our lunch as we made plans, then started to head out. As I opened the door to the hallway, a familiar face popped up in front of us. Is it one of the guys? Kamui? Oh shit. Yeah, the other guys don't know that I know they're actually guys.
サイバラさん。
あれ
We're
二
buddies.
人ともまた一緒だったんだね。
Kamui seemed genuinely surprised to see us, so I just chalked our run up into a coincidence. But this is the second time I've run into him while I was with Mihaya. What are the odds, huh? I wasn't thinking about it too seriously, but Mihaya spoke with a more threatening tone.
なんでこんなところにいるんですか
Bro.
しかも一人で。
いや偶然だって一人なのは確かに珍しい
Get
か
out
も
of
しれない
here.
けどね。俺って人気者だからさ。
人気自慢に興味はないです。
もうミハヤ君ってばツンケンしちゃって。
I can't tell if they're friends or not, but I've never seen Mihaya talk that way to anyone else. I looked between them without saying a word, and then Kamui turned to me with a smile.
で、本当に二人で何してたの？こんなにしょっちゅう一緒にいるなんて、いつの間にそんなに仲良く。
サイバラさん、余計なこと言わないでくださいね。
Kamui was the type to talk a mile a minute, so Mihaya interrupted him.
何を話してたかも、サイバラさんには言うつもりはないですから。
はいはい、了解。ほんと、ミハヤ君は釣れないな。でも、これだけは言わせてよ。
何ですか？
俺は二人が仲良くなってくれて
Oh, you're so
よかった
cute.
って
I'm
思
not
って
sure if I
る
want to
よ
do his route next.
なんだか、ミハヤ君の表情も前より明るくなった気がするしさ。
After saying that, however, Kamui knitted his eyebrows with concern.
けど、その、気をつけてね。
Are you saying that to Mihaya?
分かってます。
He is, yep. Kamui smiled, but Mihaya frowned with irritation. I thought it odd that Kamui would comment on Mihaya's mood, but perhaps they really do know each other well.
じゃあ、行きましょう。
Oh, right, we gotta get going. Mihaya immediately turned and walked away from Kamui, so I rushed to catch up with him.
うん。バイバイ。
Bye bye! Oh! Wait, hold on! Kamui watched us go, his face filled with concern. But I didn't notice since I was already walking away with Mihaya. What was that face, Kamui? Sir, speak your mind. Mihaya and I met up again when school ended and went to look for Ryo. I usually see him in the courtyard or hallway whenever he's at the academy. I consider the places I've run into Ryo before. Mihaya nodded at me as he looked around.
ビンゴかもしれませんよ。
Really? Oh yeah, that's him! I followed Mihaya's line of sight and saw Ryo hanging around like he was waiting for us.
声をかけてみましょう。どうやら向こうも俺たちと話すつもりみたいですよ。
Mihaya had come to the same conclusion I had. He didn't take his eyes off Ryo as he began walking toward him.
来ると思った。
I heard Ryo mumble that, but Mihaya started speaking right away.
担当直入に言います。
Damn,
富塚さんは
ominous music?
俺たちを秘密裏にシータの外へ行かせることができますか？
やれなくもないな。
それならシータの近くに害獣が出現したことを教えてもらうのは可能ですか？
この間、そいつが聞いてきたことと同じだな。可能か不可能かで言えば可能だ。
なるほど。じゃあ富塚さんに協力してもらうことにします。
Things were moving awfully fast. I hurriedly cut into the conversation. Hold on. What you just said implies you'll be going outside too, Mihaya. Or would you just stop at the gate?
やめませんよ。外に出てギフトアビリティするまでの間だったら少しくらい苦しくてもなんとかやれそうだと思って。先輩がそばにいてくれるんでしょ。だったら頑張れるはずです。
Yes, of course. I'll support you with everything I've got. Mihaya's determination was palpable, and it got me riled up too. Then Ryo spoke up, hinting a hint of teasing in his voice.
へえ、俺が思っていたよりもずいぶん二人は仲がいいみたいだな。知らなかった。協力するのはいいが、もう少し俺にも事情を明かしてくれてもいいんじゃないのか。モカじゃなく荒木が来たことも気になるしな。
It wasn't an unreasonable question. Mihaya gave a small sigh before answering.
俺の正体がこの人にバレてる件については、ここまで話が進んだからにはあんたはもう気がついてるんでしょ。だから隠す必要もないかと思ったんです。それに早く話したかった。モカとして話せる機会を伺うよりはミハヤの方がチャンスは多いですから。事情について明かせというならこれを見てください。
Mihaya drew out the map with the symbol on it and showed it to Ryo.
俺たちはここにあるはずのコロニーに行きたい。ただそれだけです。あんたがこのコロニーのことを知ってて教えてくれるって言うならそれでもいいですけどね。
Mihaya's tone indicated he didn't expect much, but I noticed Ryo's eyes widening slightly when he saw the map. Does he actually know about it? But Ryo's expression quickly returned to normal, and I missed my chance to ask him.
俺から言うことは何もない。
He agreed.
だが全面的に協力してやろうという気にはなった。正直に目的を明かしてくれたからな。
Alright, thank God.
害獣がコロニーのそばに来たタイミングでお前たちに連絡する。俺の連絡先は知ってる
Oh
な。
shit. We won't really know when it's gonna happen until he contacts us, so we had to be ready at all times. Yeah. I nodded, remembering how we exchanged details when we were on patrol before.
それなら問題ない。
And with that, Ryo turned and left without saying anything more.
やっぱり信用できないですね。
But he said he'd help us. I've been relieved Ryo agreed to help us, so I was surprised to hear Mihaya still felt that way.
だって明らかに何か知ってる様子でしたよね。
So Mihaya had also noticed how Ryo had reacted. That had me worried too. What do you think he's not telling us about? Is that other colony still there? He definitely knows something about it. Is that where maybe he came from? Does he know people from there? Does he know their situation? There's a lot of things we still don't know about that colony or outside of Theta. Maybe he can't talk about it because of his position, even if he wants to.
その解釈は随分優しい気がします。俺は知りたいなら自分の目で確かめろって意味だと思いましたよ。俺たちを試してるような感じがしましたから。
Mihaya's tone was full of annoyance, but then he turned to me to talk about something else.
でも前進したことは間違いありません。あの人から連絡が来たらいつでも出発できるように準備しておきましょう。
I agree. The idea that we're being tested made me feel uneasy. But we'd come too far to turn back. Our only way was forward. Only have one more hero left, then close to villain route. Ooh, nice. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to play this, but I'm hoping by the end of the year, I can finish everything and have 100%. So we'll try to aim for that. Nighttime, a few days later. Mihaya and I made our way to the gate in the administrative district. Rio had contacted us right before curfew.
いますね。
Already? I see him. Rio was already standing by the gate.
わざわざこのゲートを指定してきたのにも意味はあるんだろうな。
Rio directed that comment to Mihaya, so I turned to look at him. Mihaya already seemed to be in pain.
そうです。目的地へは遠回りになることも分かってますけど、ここから出ないと意味がないので。
Mihaya, are you alright?
大丈夫です。でも急ぎましょう。誰かに見られる危険もありますから。
荒木の言う通りだな。来い。ゲートを通れるようにしておいた。
Rio shepherded us toward the gate, and for some reason, the regular security guard was nowhere to be found.
帰ってくるときにまた手引きをしてやるから連絡して。
Alright, we're actually going outside of Theta? Alright, let's go, Mihaya.
ええ。
I still don't know how much we could trust Rio, but right now, there is no doubt that he'd come through for us. We have to go. With renewed resolve, we pass through the gate. Alright, hold on. Give me real quick. How far am I in this route? I feel like I'm getting close to the end. Oh yeah, I'm getting close to the end, dear lord. I'm not ready, but we'll see. We saw a figure shambling around when we got outside. Look, is that a vector?
どうやら協力すると言ったのは本当みたいですね。
Yeah, you should hurry up and use sap on it. Mocha was still showing signs of pain, but I knew we didn't have a moment to spare. I carefully took her hand and started running. Oh shit! Save? Hold on. Oh, go down. 23. Where am I at my status? Augment? I'm only at 40? I'm good. I can use augment, can't I? Shit. Distract the vector or use augment. Let's attempt to use augment. I think this might be the last one or one more I can really do before I'm at 100%. I still don't know what happens when I overwork myself, but distract the vector? Shit. Do I want to distract the vector or cast augment? Because I feel like... Let's cast augment. We'll ride with it and we'll see what happens. Ugh. I decided to use augment on Mocha so that her sap ability would be more effective sooner. Mocha, I'm gonna use augment. We're riding with it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I took her hand and charged my energy, unleashing augment. The effects appeared right away.
ありがとうございます。これならやれる。
I'm always with you, girl. Mocha let go of my hand and headed toward the vector. She dodged a swing from the vector and then circled around it, reaching out her hand to touch its back. I couldn't see her from where I was standing, but I assumed she cast sap just then. Oh, thank God.
このままこいつらを倒しましょう。
Yeah. I felt a little sorry for the vector, because we were using it for our own goals. But we also couldn't let it wander around near Theta. We worked together and took down the vector. Okay, that worked out perfectly. Thank God. The battle was over in no time once Mocha absorbed the vector's strength. Are you feeling any pain? I asked Mocha after we defeated the vector, and she took a few breaths before giving a cautious answer.
大丈夫そ
We
う
gotta
です。
hurry up.
でもどれくらい持つかわからないですね。効果が切れる前には次の害獣を見つけておかないと。
Then let's move. Where do we go from here? Mocha pulled out a map.
実は最短距離で行くならシータに沿って歩いた方がいいんです。
Alright.
行政エリアのゲートは もともと目的地からは遠かったんですよ。
But your parents left through that gate.
はい。しかも俺の記憶通りならこの後もシータを背にして歩いていました。シータがどんどん遠ざかっていったのを覚えてるんです。
I wonder if your parents want to look into something else before going to the colony.
わかりません。でも俺は両親の足跡をたどってみます。そうすれば何かわかるかもしれないから。
Alright, let's go. A thick, ominous cloud hung over the sky outside, making it so dark we could barely see. Sorry, my cat's rubbing himself against my face. Kyo, go sit. We only had a small light to illuminate our path as we moved forward. Mocha would cast sap every time we encountered a vector, but for the most part, we hid under the cover of darkness and continued on. I'm worried about Mocha getting tired, so I have to make sure we avoid unnecessary fights. It must have been draining for her to continuously use sap on the vectors. I kept an eye on Mocha's condition and secretly thought about how we would retreat if it looked like she wouldn't be able to go on. Okay, we're alright so far. Mocha's might not make it, question mark. We just have to watch carefully over her. Mocha spoke up right when the sky was beginning to brighten.
向こうに害獣がいますけど、見つからないように離れましょう。
Are you sure you don't need to cast sap again? Or are you tired? I thought maybe my hunch had been right, but Mocha just gave a vague reply.
疲れてるわけじゃないですよ。実は少し前から
Mocha?
まっすぐ外部コロニーを目指すように進路を変えたんです。暗闇の中で両親の足跡をたどっても何もわからないと思って。おかげでトラウマから来る息苦しさの方はもうほと
I
んど
don't really trust the
気がします。
situation. That's good. But if that's the case, then we probably should have gone when the sun was out. I said that, but knew full well that we wanted to leave Theta in secret. Doing so at night was the only way. It was too late for regrets anyway.
もともと無理がある計画だったんです。俺はここまで来られただけでも上出来だと思ってますよ。それにギフトアビリティの効きが悪くなってる気がするんです。
What? Really? Her declaration shocked me, but Mocha seemed rather calm about it.
大丈夫。想定の範囲内です。理由はなんとなく心当たりがあるし、ともかく今は外部コロニーを目指しましょう。中に入れてもらえるとは思えないけど、外壁の近くまで行けばここよりは安心できます。もう少し明るくなるまで近くに身を潜めて、その後周りを調査したらシータへ帰りましょう。
I worried about what could be weakening her sap ability, but it wasn't the time to be hanging around talking about vectors. Alright, how long do you think it'll be before we get to the colony?
この地図がどれくらい正確かわからないですけど、結構近くまで来てるはずですよ。
Got it. Then we'll prioritize getting to the colony for now. We chose our route carefully so the vectors wouldn't notice us. But as we've moved on, we sense another presence up ahead. Yeah, Mocha's worrying me right now. I feel like she's putting on a strong front so she doesn't worry us, and she wants to keep on finding out what happened to her parents. She thinks this might be her only chance. Oh god, no. We heard a cheerful voice ringing out incongruently amidst our grim surroundings. A familiar face then stepped out from behind a building.
雪並み。
本当だ。こんなところで何してるの？
Who are you? A young man stood behind Yukinami. I thought I'd seen him before, but I couldn't remember who he was.
僕は
You're so cute, Ibuki, but you're my villain right now. I'll love you later. I didn't sense any maliciousness in his smile, but the fact that he was with Yukinami put me on my guard. Mocha must have thought the same thing, because she was already poised to fight.
ここでうちらが何してるのかはあんたらに言う必要はない。
Mocha's defiant attitude just made Ibuki smile, though he looked slightly troubled.
そうはいかないよ。君たちに言うつもりがなくても、この先には僕たちのコロニーしかないんだから。
Your what? Your colony? What do you mean by that? His words were so surprising. I couldn't quite process them. Ibuki continued on.
向かっているのに、そこがどんな場所かも知らないの？
Is that where his parents were trying to go?
僕たちと害獣が暮らすコロニーだよ。
What?
怪獣が暮らすコロニー。何言って。
I was certainly surprised by what Ibuki said, but Mocha sounded even more shocked. Is that where his parents were trying to go? But that would mean Mihaya's parents were trying to investigate a colony that had vectors living. Does that mean Ryo? No? We showed him that map and he made that expression. Do not tell me Ryo knew we were going to a colony full of vectors. Did they know? Perhaps they didn't. Just what is going on here? Mocha and I fell silent after Ibuki told us that, and Yukinami chimed in.
話はもういいでしょ。
Excuse you?
やっちゃおうよ。
I started when I heard Yukinami's voice dripping with murderous intent. Mocha, Yukinami's coming for us. I cannot use augment again after last time, so we're gonna fight this man. We're gonna attack him and we're gonna hope it works out. Right, when I called that out, Yukinami vanished before our eyes. I have to fight. As I readied myself for battle, I sensed a presence filled with bloodlust appear right next to me. Sir, give me a chance. Hello?
残念、防がれちゃったか。じゃあ次はこっちかな。
I managed to evade his attack, but Yukinami was already going in for another strike. Oh, thank God. Mocha turned to attack Yukinami, but he blocked it.
今のはちょっとびっくりしたけど、これくらいじゃ僕のことはやれないよ。
I'ma pray. Our row with Yukinami continued for a while. The young man who called himself Ibuki simply stood idly by, observing us. We're so at a disadvantage. We're not used to fighting outside the colony, but Yukinami's completely fine. Every time I tried to attack, Yukinami would run and take cover at the exact right moment. Then he'd suddenly pop up and leap at us, and we stumbled to dodge his attacks. We might be losing at this point. Oh, we might be cooked, y'all. Mocha!
やった！クリーンヒットだね。
After a few exchanges, Yukinami managed to land a solid kick, sending Mocha flying backwards. Are you okay? I rushed to Mocha's aid, but she held up her hand to stop me while keeping an eye trained on Yukinami.
大丈夫。ダメージを流したから。
なんだ、能力で受け身取られちゃったか。
Bro, we're trying!
けど君、前より弱くなってない？こんな感じだったっけ？
Yukinami's words made me feel uneasy. Mocha's slower than she normally is, and she said sap was less effective right now. I had a bad feeling about this. Ibuki would have been quiet up till now, suddenly interrupted us.
そういえば、何年か前に
Stop, sure, bro, shut up.
目指そうとした人間がいたって聞いたことがあるよ。結局たどり着かなかったらしいけどね。
それって。
Distracted by what Ibuki said, Mocha took her eyes off Yukinami for a brief second. Mocha, no! Yukinami lunged, as if he'd been waiting for that exact opportunity. Oh, hold on. Save. This is gonna disturb my ending. I just know it. Jump in front of Mocha. Shut out Yukinami. Shut up Mocha. Is this gonna be a sad ending? I kind of want to do this one. We're gonna jump in front of Mocha and hopefully give him some more trauma. Ooh. Mocha. My body jumped forward of its own accord. I rushed to Mocha's side and flung her out of the way. Mocha gasped with surprise, but as I felt a powerful shock. My head, sir!
どうして
Am I dying? Am I dead? I heard Mocha's voice as my consciousness faded. That can't be death, right? My ultimate augment is charging. Bro, one day, hopefully it'll be there. Augment not be working right now. But I found I couldn't respond, and soon I was plunged into darkness. Am I gonna wake up back? Oh, thank God. I was like, did the end like that? I groaned as I woke with a dull ache in my head. At the same time, I sensed someone next to me. Oh, okay, where are we? Are we back inside Theta? Oh, we are not back inside Theta. We are still stuck out here. Where am I? I slowly opened my eyes. Immediately, Mihaya's worried face came into view. I could see an unfamiliar ceiling above us. It looked like we'd been moved inside somewhere.
ここは俺たちが目指していたコロニー。つまり、
What?
あいつらの暮らしてるコロニーの中ですよ。
How? Okay, so they just took us to their colony? I'm sorry, what are we doing? What is this sinister music? After he told me that, Mihaya went to a chair and sat down. That's when I noticed Ibuki was standing next to him.
気がついてよかった。
Thanks! Can I get a read on the situation? Can I get caught up? There's no hostility in his voice as he smiled at me. Mihaya, on the other hand, seemed irritated.
よかっただって。彼女を攻撃したのはあんたの仲間だろ。よくそんな風に言えるな。それに、どういうつもりで俺たちをここに連れてきたんだ。どうしてあの場で殺さなかった。あんたは。
Oh shit, I never seen that face on him.
ここにいるんだ。超能力も持ってるみたいだし。
Mihaya made his animosity clear, but Ibuki was unfazed.
ちゃんと説明するから落ち着いて。僕の
I
ことは
figured that.
そうだな。
But why?
君たち式に言うなら、害獣の仲間と思ってくれていいよ。それから、確かに雪並みは彼女を攻撃
Yeah, just a concussion, right?
その攻撃を最小限に留めたのは僕だよ。まともに当たっていたら危なかったからね。手当てもしてベッドでも運んだ。
Okay, buddy.
ちょっとくらい感謝してくれてもいいのに。
Are you gonna hold that over my head the whole time? Ibuki sulked a little as he shrugged, and I realized I was acting on a bed. My head still hurt, but as Ibuki pointed out, I could tell my wounds had been treated and bandaged. Thank you for treating me, but I still have my doubts. If you're on Yukinami's side, doesn't that make you our enemy? So why do this? Please give me answers.
どうしても話を急ぎたいんだね。体調はもう平気なの?
Ibuki tilted his head to the side and scrutinized me with a worried expression that only made me more confused. I'm fine. See? I can get up now. Please tell us the reason why. There's no way we can be calm if we don't know what's going on. Mihaya placed his hand on my back to assist me as I sat up.
あんたが今のところ俺たちを攻撃する気がないのはもう十分分かったよ。でも彼女が言ったように事情もわからないのに談笑できるような関係じゃないだろう。
Mihaya repeated his concerns, and Ibuki shrugged again.
それじゃあ話を進めるけれど、 君は僕の話を聞いた時に明らかに動揺していたよね。
このコロニーを目指した人間がいる、そういった時のこと。
そう。もしかして君の知り合いだった？
その人たちは多分俺の両親だと思う。
Mihaya hesitated slightly before telling him. Ibuki nodded deeply with understanding.
なるほど。それはかわいそうだね。
かわいそう。
ん？
あんたは俺の両親がどうなったのか知ってるようだったけど、あんたなんかに同情してもらう必要はないよ。
Mihaya brushed off his words, but Ibuki still looked at Mihaya with pity.
僕が言っているのは、君の両親が迎えた結末がかわいそうということじゃないよ。君たちが
I mean, I figured, honestly.
かわいそうだと言ってるんだ。
I figure there's a lot of things we don't know, but if you just tell us, that would help us out. Just what exactly are you referring to? It's true that there's still many things we don't know about. I shouted without thinking, while Mihaya continued to question Ibuki.
俺たちは両親が何を調べていたのかを知るために。
Did they figure out the truth?
だから自分たちがシータの外のことについて知らないことが多いのは理解してるけど、あんたの言い方を聞いてるとそういうことじゃないよね。どうしてあんたからかわいそうだと言われなきゃならないんだ。
それは君の両親がおそらく
Yeah, I
消されたからだよ。
I figured this is the scientist,
君はそこまでは知
right?
らなかったよね。
Ibuki's tone was so casual that for a brief moment, I felt like I had no idea what was going on.
は？消された？
Yeah, did they... I think I know where this might be going. Oh, please no.
もちろんこの場所を知られたくないと思っている人間たちに決まっている。
この場所を知られたくない人間。
Ibuki ignored Mihaya's agitation and continued speaking like it was some trivial matter.
ところで君たちはもう害獣が人間だってことを知っているんだよね。
We do, but why bring that up? The sudden change in subject practically gave me whiplash. Ibuki just looked at me curiously.
じゃあ疑問には思わなかった？害獣になった人間がどこに行くのか。
In Theta, we technically kill them.
研究者たちは人間が害獣になっても驚かなかったでしょ？だって害獣化は珍しいことじゃないからね。害獣になった人間はシータの外に野放しにして終わりだとでも思ってた？でもそんなことしたら危なくないかな。
つまりここがその閉じ込める場所だと言いたいのか？
うん、そうだよ。そしてそのことは
Did Ryo know? Did Commander know?
ならみんな承知している。
How does this work out if these guys live here and they still escape?
知っていて僕たちのことを野放しにしているんだ。
Oh, do they not care?
じゃあ父さんたちが。
It's because they knew and they're gonna find out the secret, right? After we talked through everything, I understood why Ibuki had suddenly changed the subject. And because of that, I was afraid to hear what Ibuki had to say next.
おそらく上層部の人間の仕業だろうね。君の両親はここに何かが隠されていて、それが良くないものだと知ったんだと思う。告発でもしようとしたんじゃないのかな。でもそれを上層部に嗅ぎつけられて消された。彼らのやりそうなことだよ。まあこの話は僕も人づてで聞いた情報から推測したんだ。信じなくてもいいけどね。
Ibuki said exactly what I thought he would, and he was so blunt about it too. Mihai and I remained speechless, while Ibuki seemed perplexed by our reaction.
あれ、驚きで声も出ないのかな。
I mean...
でも君たちだって 上層部が綺麗な考えだけの集まりだなんて思ってなかったでしょ。
I know they're not the best people, but I didn't expect this. I understood his point, but my mind was all over the place. But I just had to ask about one more thing. Ibuki, you still haven't told us why you spared us. Why would you let us live and tell us all this? I was finally able to speak again. Ibuki started, as if he just remembered something.
ああ、そうだったね。
Yep.
君たちと取引
Can I accept it? Because I might just at this point.
取引？
君たちはむしろ僕たち側になれるんじゃないかと考えたんだよ。
What's your goal though? That's the thing. As far as we know, when people turn into vectors, they're stuck like this. At least I don't think they can turn back. I don't think the scientists attempted to try and turn them back. They just dumped them here in this colony.
だからもしも僕た
I
ち
think
を
we
生
have no
きてく
choice.
れるならシータに返してあげる。
役に立つって。人
Ooh,
間を
right.
殺
That's
す
the
って
thing
ことは
too. My heart jolted when Mihaya said that, but Ibuki smiled calmly.
そう聞こえたなら。
Oh,
そうなのかもしれないね。
Ibuki. I don't like what the top people of Theta are doing, but I can't just kill innocent people. I started to panic more when I saw how he didn't confirm or deny it. Mihaya and I would kill people. There's no way we can do that.
まあゆっくり考えるといいよ。
Excuse you?
時間はいくらでも
What
あ
do
る
you mean plenty of time? We grew quiet after that, so Ibuki slipped out of the room, leaving us in silence. Hold on, y'all. Like, do I actually have to decide if I want to kill people? Where am I in this damn flowchart? Oh, I'm technically at an ending, and it says happy, but is this happy? How is this gonna work out? What do you mean happy? We grew quiet after that, so Ibuki slipped out of the room, leaving us in silence. I don't know what's happy about it, though. Ooh. Hold on. Okay, I was about to click the wrong button. We remained silent for some time after Ibuki had gone, trying to process the facts given to us.
伊吹の言ったことは多分事実だ。
Yeah, I believe him about the scientists and the top people knowing what they're doing with the vectors, but what is his goal? He never gave us what he really wants to do with the vectors and stuff like that. Mihaya spoke up first. Though he didn't look at me, he seemed to still be digesting the information.
ずっと頭の隅で疑問だったんだ。父さんたちの死に方はおかしかった。あんな風に防護服が壊れるなんてできすぎだし、それに目的地へ向かうための進路だってわざわざ遠回りさせたみたいだった。
So all this was on purpose.
もし全部事実だったとしたら、俺は二人を殺した奴らの言いなりになってたってことになる。
Mihaya's words pierced through my heart. He was talking about the higher-ups. In other words, the ones making the blooms fight the vectors. They knew what the vectors were and hid it from us. Moravia's group had found the vectors and led them to attack Theta. Perhaps the higher-ups didn't anticipate that. But instead of handling things directly, they had us fight the vectors without telling us anything. That is another thing. The higher-ups in Theta know about this colony. That's where they put all the vectors and stuff like that. They know where the vectors are coming from. But instead of just going out and cleaning house with the vectors, they just have us going in to attack them every time they appear in Theta. It is very interesting to say the least. Oh, hold on. Ooh. Okay, capture card. Thank you. You're perfect, right? We just gotta give it a sec. My bad, guys. Let me take a water break then while we wait for it. have no clue how this is honestly going to end. Ibuki, he gave us a proposition. I don't know if we're gonna take him up on it. This is technically a happy ending based on what the thing told me, but I don't trust it. What's happy about this? We're not gonna accept the offer right